David Stark from WatcherPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today, I'm joined by Marie Allison and Jenna Milly, the writers and executive producers of Golden Arm. We're going to talk to them in just a second, but first, let's check out the trailer. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
Be quick and explosive. You want to get the jump.
Which one of you buttholes is next?
Okay, Danny. Takes 8 pounds of pressure to break your humerus.
We need a ringer. Oh, Danny!
I'm sorry I punched you in the breast.
No, it felt really cool. Look who the cat dragged in. Randy. See you at the table, ladies.
So has this been wiped down recently?
She's got this.
We may just be in the presence of a golden arm. Weak, ineffectual.
Soft.
But she has got one damn powerful arm.
Scared yet?
I can smell your fear.
I am Golden Arm. You can't go out there with your balls out. You gotta get out there with your legs out. Yeah. Legs out!
Hey, Emery.
Hi, David.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I started
Your
interviewing.
outfit.
I know. So I'm ready to go. I got my outfit. I got my my wrist wrap just to protect myself. I don't want any of those injuries that you talked about. So I'm good to go.
Awesome.
So awesome. So thanks so much for joining me. This is Marie Allison and Jenna Milly of Golden Arm. They're the writers and the executive producers. It releases in theaters and digitally on April 30th, 2021. So you can, get a nice workout in. If you're comfortable going to the theaters, you can be pumped for that, or you can go home and cool down while you watch this film. It's a good, it's a very different movie. I wasn't really expecting it. I didn't really know what to think. The poster looked awesome, and it is a lot of fun. It has a lot of strong female characters, and so I just like to hear more about it. So I imagine, and Marie, you are an arm wrestler, were an arm wrestler, and you have a nonprofit. So is this based on people that you know, or is this based on just kind of a, you're familiar with this world, so you just wanted to write more about it? And how did you all get involved in this this film?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So yeah, I did co-found this charity called the DC Lady Arm Wrestlers, where we arm wrestled for charity. And I was my alter ego was Scarlett O'Scara, because I'm from the South and I also love movies. And my motto was, "There is no tomorrow."
Very nice.
And what was really interesting about putting on these bouts was that, after we did our initial run where all of us kind of wrestled, we started recruiting all these women from around the DC area, and it was like moms and lawyers and doctors and lobbyists and a lot of smart ladies who came to the rehearsals kind of.
It's like a very DC slice. It's like moms, lawyers, lobbyists, probably some doctors too, and maybe some interns as well.
Scientists, astronauts. But yeah, we had all these women show up, and they would just be everyday walk of life clothes, but when they showed up to the bout, they were completely in their alter egos, ready to throw down, hair done, boobs out, just ready to have an incredible rock and roll kind of time. And I was just absolutely blown away by those transformations. And Jenna and I have been writing together for a couple of years already, and we're really focused on trying to write female stories with fun, strong female characters and a good plot. And Jenna was a journalist by trade, so she actually did an article on our charity. And when she wrote about it, she said to me, "Oh my God, this world is so crazy. We have got to write a movie about it." And so that's where the idea came from.
That is awesome. And then, yeah, I love that this film, it felt like some of the, older kind of like Will Ferrell era sports dramas, just kind of had that, you take this sport that maybe people have heard of, or maybe they haven't, and you just kind of put like an extra layer of craziness on it. So I guess is this event kind of like a real life, charity arm wrestling event was, or did you ratchet it up a little bit, or like you said, they were just this crazy when they come out and get on stage?
Well, we definitely ratcheted it up in certain ways. We didn't, pull the charity into the story, because there wasn't room for that particular the story we wanted to tell, which was really this buddy comedy at the heart of it, this friendship. But I would say a lot of the, the wrestling information you get, like a bar top being the inspiration for arm wrestling tables, all that's true. It takes 8 pounds of pressure to break your humerus. True. I've seen it happen. Like break arm position is part of it as well. So like we try to really ground it in the lore of the sport. And when you do research around professional arm wrestling leagues, you really see, the training that goes into it, the strength training, and the conscientiousness of the refs to make sure everybody's safe and doing it correctly. So we try to bring all that to the table, pun intended.
and yeah, I was trying to think of an arm wrestling pun, but I couldn't. You're a much better writer than me. So Jenna, did you also participate for research? Did you get out there and charity arm wrestle, or?
I did not. I am a good spectator, and when Anne-Marie was doing her charity, I thought this is so fun. She was telling me about the transformations of the women, and it just struck me as something so interesting to watch someone go through this transformation from a mild-mannered woman by day and then to find this inner strength. And I've always loved sports movies. And there aren't a lot of sports movies for women, like A League of Their Own is one, but that's pretty much it. And there's some dance and cheer movies, but you don't have a lot of these. Like when I was little, I watched The Natural, like approximately 1 million times with my brother. And there aren't movies like that for 10-year-old me. So I wanted to see something like this. Also, I love Dodgeball. And speaking of Will Ferrell, and Vince Vaughn and those kinds of hilarious comedies. So it just seemed like, and Anne-Marie and I write in that sort of vein, hilarious, funny ladies doing funny things. So I thought this would be so fun to bring this kind of comedy to life. And the charity just didn't have the same arc as the traditional her going to a tournament. So when we did research about tournaments, we thought we should do something kind of underground, and we filmed in Oklahoma, and it just seemed kind of like gritty and offbeat, which is where we ended up.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I should have said Dodgeball, because that is the film that this reminded me the most. You've got like a sport that people know but don't really think of it as like a serious competition sport, and then you just kind of ratchet it up. And I loved your point about films for women, because this film, it's got female protagonists. Like the only other real sports film other than League of Our Own I can think of just off the top of my head is like Whip It, which is a little more of a drama. That's true. This one you've got something that's funny and has very raunchy female jokes, which I thought was fun to see on screen, because you don't get that as much as any of the other types of ridiculous comedies. And so oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we wanted to write something that we wanted to go see ourselves, and I think we definitely have done that, and hopefully other people want to see it too.
Well, we'll see. It comes out in a little over a week, so I'm sure people will. Though it's very different, and that the poster, I love the poster. Kind of just it shows this whole style that this film has. It has a lot of kind of like 80s grandeur and WWE style that you kind of get on screen. So you started writing this film, and then was there like a short that then kind of spearheaded this, or how did you go from kind of your vision and writing to actually making the film? Because I know that can be a long journey, and I imagine this film was even more tough to sell to people because of just how different it is.
Yeah, we went out the traditional route. We wrote the script and we tried the traditional route, which is our manager took it to a bunch of studios, and the execs there read the script. And we got a lot of great comments about how funny the script was, but they didn't feel like it was commercially viable because female sports comedies just weren't in the zeitgeist at that time. This was all sort of like pre-Me Too. Mm-hmm. We wrote the movie in like 2012 or 2013, the first draft of the movie. And it really bummed us out because we thought we really resonated with the story. I mean, the buddy comedy and the idea of a woman who needs to kind of get into her inner roar. I feel like all of us, I feel all humans can probably relate to that. And so Jen and I just sat down and we're like, okay, what can we do about this problem, which is no one can see our vision? And so we just said, well, let's make it ourselves. Like, we've done a lot of crazy shit. Like, maybe we can make this feature film.
Easy,
How hard
easy
can it
peasy.
be? Yeah, well, it's pretty damn hard. But, you know, we were lucky to get mentored by some really great executive producers that sort of helped us with this, the first few steps of trying to actually, you know, do the number one thing, which is get financing. Because you can't make a movie with no money at all. I mean, you can now, but like if you want to put certain actors in it and you want to have certain, you know, feel and camera work and locations, the way that Jen and I kind of had the vision for the movie, we knew we had to have a certain budget. And so we started that route, just slowly gathering the money it took us about 3 years to raise the money. And then once we got to a, you know, kind of like a tripping off point where we're like, okay, we know we have enough to get X, Y, and Z done. We started to go out to cast and then, you know, figure out where we're going to film. And that's when Oklahoma came into the equation, because Oklahoma not only had all the wonderful spots that the gritty kind of like dusty Midwest that we kind of set the movie in, but it also had incredible tax rebates. So that helped us because we were an indie production. So I want to give a shout out to everybody in Oklahoma because our extras were great. Everybody, all the crew was amazing. The food was great. I mean, we had a really good time. The one thing that Jen and I talk about is just the heat. The heat was a little bit much, but it was only for like 1 week where it was like 112.
Oh, wow.
And then it cooled off.
Shorts.
Oof. So that's awesome. And I love how you mentioned you wrote it and then you got the funding and then you started casting. I always, wonder, especially when I'm talking to the writers, were these characters kind of who you envisioned when you were writing this? Did you write specifically for any of these actors that ended up taking these roles, or was it just kind of a nebulous characters that then when the actors got in, they're like, oh, that is kind of the perfect fit for that person?
It's funny, we found once we got on the indie track, I think when we wrote the Danny character, she was a Melissa McCarthy type character, which, by the way, Betsy is an amazing Melissa McCarthy type comedian. But once we got on the indie track, we found Maureen, our director, and we asked her to shoot a sizzle reel for us, which was a 1-day shoot that we did in my cousin's garage, which was really funny. Like, we borrowed a camera from my friend Jason, and we brought Maureen in, and she just brought Betsy with her. She had known her, she was a friend, and it was just like lightning in a bottle. She was amazing, and we were like, oh my God, she's Danny. And we never looked past, like, we shot the first page of the script, and that was the same first page we used in the production. It's the same first minute of the movie now. And then we just set out to look for Mary, and Mary had been in the same improv troupe, UCB, which was started by Amy Poehler out here in Los Angeles as the Melanie character, and they had known each other and had great chemistry and played off each other in an amazing way. So we cast them together, and it really worked out great. They improv'd a ton. We would shoot, we had tons of film rolling. We had so much to choose from. We like to say we were the poor man's Judd Apatow. We just kept rolling. And like, we just had a lot. If you saw the movie, you'll see at the end, there's some outtakes. And that was like a tiny portion of what we had to choose from. So we just got incredibly lucky that Maureen knew Betsy, and that started the whole process. And I feel like it turned out even better than if we had gone with like an A-list cast, that we could have had. So sometimes you have a happy accident like that on an indie project. Yeah,
no, they were perfect together, and I love that you said that, because I was thinking like this is a perfect Melissa McCarthy kind of character, but Betsy has kind of her own style, a little bit more gruff, a little bit. I think she fits this scene a lot more, or a lot better. And I also love that that they let them improv, because that's another question I always ask writers is, you've got these funny characters, how much are they going off, are they ad-libbing, how much are they sticking to your script? And it sounds like you just let them go and just took whatever was funniest.
Yeah, we were not precious about the jokes that we wrote. I mean, the only thing that we tried to do as executive producers was, making sure we got certain beats of the story in each scene, to make sure that, things were moving along. And then also obviously looking at the day's work and making sure we were on time. But other than that, it was a complete joy to watch these women do what they do best. And, Betsy's amazing. Mary's amazing. I mean, Dot was great. I mean, everybody was having a great time, and we really enjoyed like the beautiful kind of camaraderie on the set around it, and all these ladies kind of just getting to do what they do best.
Olivia.
Yes, Olivia, like she has so many funny little quips. So yeah, we had a great
joke about carb fog. I know that I'm just tooting in horn because there was so much improv, but some of our jokes did make it in, which every time I read the script and we got to Anne Marie's joke, which is you're in a carb fog. That just always.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that it's a mix of everything and it kind of all comes together for the better. And so you're the writer, so I want to ask this specific question. In Randy's bar, when they have that drink that Danny finishes and Mary's character kind of sips, what was that? Is that actually written, or is it just written as like a gross drink or a gross shot?
I think it's rosé she's supposed to have. Or
well, she's supposed to, but she gets a
rosé. She doesn't want to drink it. It's just like I think it was just like a whiskey, and she's like, do they have rosé? But they don't really say what it is, but in reality it was Coke, I believe they were drinking. So it does look kind of sludgy.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be wild turkey. I don't remember.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So we're running low on time, so I'm going to move to the lightning round. It's just really short, lightweight questions about the film and the characters, see how your experiences map onto the characters. I've already got some from Anne Marie. But so the first question is, what would your arm wrestling name and gimmick be? And I've already got Anne Marie's. So Jenna, what would yours be?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
You can pass. That's fine.
I got to think about that. I'll write you later. I don't know. Something with
there you go.
I'm not very I don't know. I'll write you a letter.
All right. Let's see.
Get in your mailbox.
Yeah. Sharp writer. I don't know. We'll think of something. What would your hype song be when you come out on stage? And Marie, I didn't hear yours either, so you can jump into.
Well, mine when I came out as Scarlet Ostera, it was Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Nice.
I'll have to get Anne Marie to think of one for me.
I feel like tell me something good.
Yeah, maybe like the pen is mightier.
Disco queen, Jenna. You'd be the disco queen.
There we go.
What would be my disco song?
So tell me something good when you come out that you would do it.
Good. Pick that one for me.
Would you be a hero or a heel?
A hero?
Or a heel?
Yeah, like in the traditional wrestling kind of gigs. Would you be like the bad person, or would you be more of like a crowd favorite?
I'm such a good girl. I think I'd just go right to hero, but I would be fun to be the heel.
Yeah, I mean, Scarlet Ostera sounds like a heel.
I'll go the hero.
Okay. Have you ever broken your arm?
No.
I've dislocated my arm.
Oh, I thought those scenes were.
When I was 3, and my dad flipped me around when my brother was being born.
Those were painful to see. Have you ever gotten into a bar fight?
Yes.
Remember that night?
Which of Danny's tactics was it that got you in that?
Stole her dude.
And in this film, Betsy and Mary's character have like their BFF song, and I know you're BFF writers. So what is your BFF writing song?
It's probably Up in Here. I'm gonna make you lose your mind up in here, up in here. Is that what it's called? Up in Here?
We'll go with that. We don't have time to fact check, so it's probably fine.
Because it's a mind-boggling experience. Every day is a new adventure when you're doing this.
Yeah, well, I imagine when you're writing so much, you got to just kind of like, sometimes you just have to play something that kind of just messes hypes everyone up and gets everyone.
Put that in a pitch. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So awesome. And so the film comes out April 30th. So I imagine you're promoting it. But then after that, what's next for y'all? Do you have other projects that you're working on, other scripts that you're shopping around?
We have a project in development at Netflix called It's Wednesday Night. And we wrote that during the pandemic.
All right. Well, awesome. That sounds great. More strong female characters, I assume, and more humor to help
Absolutely.
everyone get through this.
Yeah, totally. More craziness will ensue.
Awesome. Well, can't wait. And the film is Golden Arm. It's a very different movie. If you're a fan of the old kind of buddy comedy sports films, this is right there. Except the main characters are female, and it's a lot of fun to see these ladies just kind of be strong and get on stage and really kind of work it. It's a very interesting sport that I didn't expect to ever see and to enjoy. So
It makes you want to arm wrestle, doesn't it?
Well, a year of being in the pandemic does not make me want to arm wrestle because I would just get embarrassed, but it does make me want to start training again. So
We'll see you on the flip side, David. We'll see you when you're ready at
that
the table.
sounds good. But you would probably beat me, and I guess what, that's fine. You know what? If a woman beats me in arm wrestling, then I should train harder. So
I love it. I love that. That's how you feel. You're gonna be like Jerry, the groupie that follows all the ladies around.
that sounds perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
All
David.
right, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. That was Marie Allison and Jenna Milly, the writers and executive producers of Golden Arm, which releases in theaters and digitally on April 30th, 2021. So you can get a nice workout in, get your arm strength up, and then go see this film. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot to make sure all my new interviews go straight to you. And as always, please go to watchyourpast.com for all your movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.